Book of 2 Timothy chapter 3, point is verse 1, and it reads, "This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come." I want to start off by giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to God, Lord Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Chakodas Book of Thumb. I want to say double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone, who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Akwatha to the listening and learning. Lord, willingly this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you I say shalom. So brother Yahweh Sop out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. This lesson is inspired by, I was watching a video by the elder Amawan Gabar. So, I'm going to take a snippet of his video because I know he was bringing out information from these two YouTubers that he's watched, and basically through the Spirit, fair use. I'm not basically using this. I'm just using this information to teach, or bring out a scripture in the Bible that relates to the times, that is mentioned. When you go into that word perilous, it's the Greek word kalapas, and it means dangerous, fierce, savage, hard to bear or hard to do, hard to approach. So it's gonna be hard to live, hard to survive because how dangerous things are about to become. So with that being said, scripturally, like in the days of Noah, it says like in the days of Noah, so shall be the coming of the Son of Man be. So just like it was back then, it tells you in the book of Genesis chapter 6 that there was much violence on the earth in the days of Noah. And that was one of the reasons why the Most High pretty much sent the flood, and it's going to be like that in, these current last days. So without further ado, again, fair use, Copyright Act. And just play a little bit of this video. Ain't that something? I hate this damn thing.
Play the rest of this video.
So
many of them are coming here with the intent to harm. It was a few years ago that one of the ministers in the Middle East, I'm trying to remember, I think it was the United Arab Emirates or one of those countries over there, was talking about Europe and the United States and how they're allowing all of these migrants to come into our countries, and we're allowing the worst. We're allowing the criminals and the extremists and the terrorists. And the same thing has happened with countries south of the border. Look at countries like Venezuela. Now, over the last year or so, their crime rates have really started dropping. And while there's not necessarily some official information on this, there does indicate, there's indicators to show that a lot of these people that are coming into the United States are potentially the gang members, the criminals from those south of the border nations. And that's why their crime rates are dropping and our crime rates are increasing. It's not because we're necessarily letting in.
And that's the Spirit, because that is absolutely true. As far as the crime increasing, especially in Babylon the Great. I did a video recently about in New York. That's one of the reasons why they actually allowed the National Guard, or put the National Guard in the city as far as guarding the subways, because you got those migrants out there. And it's not just New York, because you got Chicago, you got California. Crime rates up in California. That's why they pretty much up the amount of merchandise you can take without it becoming a felony. Which is giving you incentive to steal. So again, I often mention those movies, Escape from New York and Escape from L.A. When you go into those movies, those were like the worst places in the country to live. And I know brothers that pretty much are residing in those states where the Lord placed them. I mean, I'm sure they can attest to it.
All of the good, hard-working, family-type people, we're letting in a lot of criminals, a lot of gang members.
And you know something? And these people ain't gonna know what to do. Just you know, not to digress, but just to speak on a personal testimony. Like, I recently just started this job, and the guy that's training me, he's pretty much retired. And you know, what did he say? He said he's liberal conservative, you know, and I don't even really understand what those meanings are, but you know, I know he said he's liberal with people, you know, meaning he doesn't believe he has the right to dictate what they should and shouldn't be able to do. In his mind, he's saying those people are pretty much, you know, are hungry, and you know, this is Atlanta opportunity. You know, you got people that's making these statements about kick them out and all this, and I was just simply trying to explain to him, yeah, you got people that are innocent among them, but like this individual was saying, you got a lot of criminal element amongst them as well. A lot of gang members, a lot of criminals, you know, and that's all the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because again, like the scriptures say, in the last days, perilous times shall come. And if it's already not a lot of resources, you know, everybody's struggling, what do you think's about to happen? He said it himself. He said he's going to eat. If he was hungry, he would be coming over here, you know. And I said, yeah, so what happens with, you know, you trying to eat and these people trying to eat? You know what I mean? I mean, me, myself, I already understand the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You know, a person that's subscribing to, they know the scriptures or they believe in God but don't understand what God's about to do, then you don't know him like you think. Because, and again, going to the point of these people are going to become caught unaware.
Don't say we.
Matter of fact, let me get that. It's the book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 2. It's the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. I'm going to start at verse 1, and it reads, 1 Thessalonians 5:1, but of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. And again, like I said, most of these people want to be caught unawares because they're not watching. They're not staring on their leads. They're not, you know, being a watchman. You know, scripture in Habakkuk chapter 2 talks about standing upon our watch, because the watchman had a very important position. You know what I mean? His job was to watch out for dangers and to forewarn the people. You know, and that's what we're doing week in and week out when we're on these highways and hedges. That's what we're doing daily, actually, when we're doing these video epistles. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Verse 4, but ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that that day should overtake you as a thief. And those that are, you know, engulfed and encompassed in this truth, we won't be taken unawares by what's about to take place. Again, you know, he seemed like a cool individual, you know what I mean? But like I said again, you know, he was telling me a little bit about his life and whatnot. And, you know, I do have respect for him because this man has a physical, what could be considered a handicap. But I'm watching how the Lord, you know, showing me something right before my eyes. Like, damn, this dude has, like, I think he has multiple sclerosis or something like that. You know, so I'm watching this guy do the job that I'm trying to do, but he doing it so well. That, you know, that's a cut, you know what I mean? Makes you really, like, humbles you and makes you consider, like, damn, you know, how blessed I am, fortunate I am, and how the Lord can use anything to his will. But not to digress. But, you know, I'm grateful that I have the truth, though, because like I said again, you know, what these people hold dear or what they think that the will, like, you know, he was going in about how he didn't do this, didn't do that, he did this, he tried to treat people like that. You know, he said, who is he to judge? But the scriptures say a spiritual man judge of all things, especially through the scriptures. You know what I mean? That's what you truly judge based upon. But not to digress. In fact,
Either plays into it. You look at this whole election cycle. Either Trump wins and the left goes crazy, and they start a civil war, or Biden wins, and they use that authority, and the right kind of goes a little crazy, and there's this conflict, and there's potential civil war there.
So you see how he just said that? You know what I mean? Like literally, because both sides are set up to bring about the same results anyway. You know, you'll have a Republican run in office, set in place all these laws and whatnot, and then you'll have a Democrat come in office and pretty much like pull back or add on to. You know, like when you look at and the administrations that showed me that it was a picture of the Bushes, Bush, Daddy Bush and Bush Jr. along with Obama and Clinton. And when you look at what they've done, pretty much all their legislation that both, parties have passed leads us to this current situation that we're in. If you literally just really follow it, when Most High opens your eyes to it. So the point I wanted was pretty much about, how, there's going to be much violence in the last days, and it's all set up through the will and the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Matter of fact, let me get this. What's that? The book of Ecclesiasticus, or the book of Sirach, chapter 5, and verse. No, that's not. No, it's Ecclesiastes. Right? No, it's Second Ezra, Salakia. This is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 5, and I'm going to start at verse 7. And it reads, "And the Sodomite sea shall cast out fish and make a noise in the light, which many have not known, but they shall all hear the voice thereof." And the Sodomite sea, sometimes, the sea is a representation of the people. And Sodomites, we know what the word Sodom means, and what is this place? Considered likened onto, ancient Sodom and Gomorrah, because what is practiced here? What is pushed here? What is allowed here? There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again. You think back a couple of years ago, all these different food processing plants being burnt down, wildfires, in California, and the wild beasts shall change their places. I was gonna try and do a video on it. I was taking my children to the babysitter yesterday morning, early in the morning, probably like I'd get them there probably like around like between 4 and 4:30, and I knew what I saw. We in the hood, and but I knew it was a coyote. And I couldn't get it on film. First thing I thought was Jeremiah chapter 15, verse 2, the teeth of wild beasts. Shit, that's in the Sirach or Ecclesiasticus, because the Lord is going to use all these different creations to bring about His judgment. And the wild beasts shall change their places. And again, that was in the hood. You know what I mean? It says, "And minstrous women shall bring forth monsters." It says, verse 9, "And the salt waters shall be found in the sweet, and all friends shall destroy one another. Then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself into a secret chamber." And we're coming into that time because it's about to be a famine of the word. When these things become chaotic, where it's going to be calipas, we're not going to be occupied and trying to come out on the highways and hedges and risk our safety in our lives because to give you guys the word. Like that was the purpose of this now. Everything has a time. We was bringing that out at camp. A siren is to alert you that the police is coming and it's danger or something's going on. So it makes a noise for you to move out the way. Because ambulances, police, cruisers all use these sirens. So like a fire alarm sets off to let you know that you possibly in danger, the building's on fire or whatnot. It has a certain amount of time though. That alarm goes off for a certain amount of time. It could go off and then they could stop the fire, or it could go off and actually stop when the building is consumed by the flames. But it goes back to the point of it being a time. Just like the Heavenly Father got a certain amount of time that He's going to allow this word to come out, and then He's going to take it away. And that's the famine of the word. Verse 10, the point, and shall be sought of many. That's when everybody's going to be looking for knowledge, wisdom. They're going to want answers. Scriptures talk about wisdom and knowledge still to be the stability of our times. But these people reject the truth. And shall be sought of many, and yet not be found. Then shall unrighteousness and incontinency be multiplied upon the earth. And incontinency means lawlessness. That's when these people are going to go buck wild. You know what I mean? Buck wild, batshit crazy. You know what I mean? Especially when there's a lack of resources. This is the book of Matthew chapter 24, and I'm going to end with the point, verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, going back to that word, incontinency, lawlessness, sin upon sin. So when lawlessness just is taking hold of this place completely, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And then you're gonna see, like the Joker said in that movie, The Dark Knight. That's when these civilized people, they're gonna eat each other. So if you're so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the law, statutes, commandments of your power, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, or you will be destroyed. With that, I want to give all praise, all honor, all glory to God, Elohim, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem B'nashbakatam. Double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone, who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim, across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Aqua, thought to listen and learning. Lord, willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribing to this truth to you. I say shalom. Till next time I'm able to come with another lesson, I'll say shalom, shalom, and Kwam Yasharallah.